Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you're well. We're live again with another very interesting topic. A topic that has been voted voted the best topic to be discussed by my learning club. I discussed the same on my LinkedIn, and people were all crazy for this topic, and they wanted to know how it is important in their professional life, in their personal life, and we're talking about emotional intelligence. I welcome you all over here. There have been a lot of people who've been asking me why didn't we have a session throughout the week, because I think our last live session was on Sunday, and I just wanted to break to see to check pulse what topics are exactly are you guys looking for the next week as well. So, and especially for this session, I wanted some considerable time for people to get to know about the event and come prepared for this session, specifically with their questions or whatever they have in mind, because emotional intelligence is something that even myself as a professional, as an HR professional, I don't think I understand it completely. I know what it means. I know, like, I've been studying it online, but it's very important when जब मैंने recently जब इसको और पढ़ना शुरू किया, मैंने फोर्ब्स की रिपोर्ट्स पढ़ना शुरू की, लिंक्डइन की पढ़ना शुरू की, then I realized कि यार ये ऐसी चीज़ है जो अगले 10 साल में रोबोट्स भी नहीं रिप्लेस कर सकते. This is something that is a great skill that to have, and all the senior management, all the CEOs, all the top management people, they have this skill, and that is one of the reasons why they are over there. तो हमें एज अ नेशन, या अगर मतलब मैं अपने दोस्तों को भी बात करूं या जितने लोगों से मेरा इंटरेक्शन हुआ, हम लोग को जनरली अपने इमोशंस पे इतना कंट्रोल कभी कभी नहीं रहता, एंड वी डोंट थिंक इट थ्रू, एंड दैट्स व्हाई इट इज रिफ्लेक्टेड ऑन आवर प्रोफेशनल लाइफ एज वेल. सो विदाउट फर्दर डू, मैं आप लोगों को एक और चीज़ समझाता हूँ. हम एंड में क्वेश्चंस लेंगे, सो व्हाटएवर क्वेश्चंस यू हैव रिलेटेड टू दिस टॉपिक यू कैन आस्क ओवर हियर. देखें, अगर आउट ऑफ टॉपिक हो आप मुझसे सेपरेटली पूछ लीजिएगा लर्निंग क्लब में, आई विल आंसर यू गाइस. बट इसमें ना पूछें, ताकि हम 1 घंटे का हमने एक सेशन रखा हुआ है, हम चाह रहे हैं कि लिमिटेड रहे एंड पीपल कैन गेट द मैक्सिमम बेनिफिट आउट ऑफ इट. The reason being, I've invited a special guest, Rahila Narejo, as you guys already know, and I want you guys to get the maximum benefit out of it. और मैं खुद भी इस पे सेल्फिश हूँ इस वाले सेशन में, बिकॉज मुझे खुद सीखना है कि यार इसमें होता क्या है, एंड एक एक्सपर्ट से सीखना और एक एक्सपीरियंस की बेस पे सीखने में बहुत डिफरेंस है. So who is Rahila Narejo? She's, a lot of you already know her, but I'll still give her an intro. She's a successful behavioral psychologist, neuroscience of leadership practitioner with 19 plus years of experience, HR consultancy as well. Her areas of expertise are leadership development, executive coaching, HR consultancy, and management consulting. She's served Fortune 500 companies like Coca-Cola, Unilever, Nestle, Standard Chartered, GSK, Mitsubishi, and Toyota, and multiple other companies. I haven't worked with her directly, but my company has, and it has been an amazing experience working with her. So I'll just invite her on the screen. And hi, Rahila, how are you?
Hi, Umar. Thank you for inviting me.
It's a pleasure, and we're really thankful to you to take out time for this topic specifically. I know how busy you are, how busy your schedule is, but still, thank you from the bottom of our heart to take out time for this topic.
Pleasure. It's my pleasure. And before we get started, is it English? Is it Urdu, or can we speak
it's mixed. Yeah, it's up to you.
Urdish?
Yeah, unless there is
Okay,
someone
good.
like I know a Moroccan follower who specifically if she is online, then we can probably go to English because she doesn't understand. Or if there's someone from UK or US, they'll mention and then we'll move to English. But as of now, I think it's mixed. People prefer that.
Okay, sounds good.
And how are you? How's everything?
I'm good. I'm very well. Thank you so much. Alhamdulillah. I think we're all in the same predicament. We're all social distancing, right? Are you working from home?
Yeah, I'm working from home, and this has been really tough working from home. Like, I used to think that working from home means that you'll be relaxed, you'll be spending time with family, you'll be doing your own stuff, but that's not the case, because it's like 2 days back we rolled out guidelines how to work from home, because the meetings were going on till 10 and 11, everyone was burning out, and then we were like, okay, we haven't faced this situation before, we need to tell everyone what work from home means. So we put a restriction on sending meeting invites as well after 5:30 or 6:30 through Zoom. So yeah, it's kind of tough, especially because our company is like I'm an HR BP for Engro Power Third Limited, which is an essential commodity, and it has to run. Like, you can't shut the business, so it's kind of tough.
Absolutely.
How's
That's
the
what I said.
how's the self isolation period going for you?
I'm loving it. I'm actually I'm loving it. And it's not very different for me because as a consultant for a long time now, I have been working, although I have a office and I have a team there, I love working from home. I love the freedom I get from being a consultant and being able to move around and stay home if I want, work from the office if I want. I love it.
That's great. That's great. So, Rahila, about the topic, emotional intelligence. So, it's a personal favorite for me, and you can see like viewers. I think 120 already online. Within some time, there will be more. You can see the interest, how much people are looking forward to this session because the issue that I feel is we've always focused on IQ. बचपन से कि यार okay, you need to score well in the test and all that. And when I joined my professional, even though I've done my bachelor's, I've been through a lot of grooming, but still when I joined my professional life, I still realized it was never focused. Okay, Umar, you need to have an emotional control in certain situations. Like घर पे जो बता दिया, लोगों दोस्तों ने बता दिया, that's it. Now I realize this is something that we need to focus on, like as a proper training and as a proper, there needs to be an appraisal on it, like how people are faring on it, because this is very important. And the reports that I read of all the senior managers in the world, this is something that is a skill and they have that. So this topic again is very important, but if we can start with the discussion. So what do you think about emotions in the time of corona?
Emotions are all over the place right now, and I'm sure you would have noticed it in yourself too. And in fact, this is such a casebook study of something called the change curve, if you're familiar with it. कि जब हम किसी चेंज का सामना करते हैं तो हम एक रोलर कोस्टर से गुजरते हैं पहले तो सबसे पहले we get shock like what's going on here. Then we kind of get into disbelief. We don't believe it. We think it's going to pass really soon. Sab theek ho jayega, back to normal ho jayega. And then we slide down a slippery slope. Okay, we start getting frustrated. And that is another emotion, right? Frustration, stress, anxiety. And इस stage में I'm sure मैं गुजर चुकी हूँ. I'm sure हमारी audience भी गुजर चुकी है. कुछ लोग फ्रस्ट्रेशन फेज में फ्रस्ट्रेशन को एक्सप्रेस करते हैं कि छोटी छोटी बातों पे गुस्सा आना शुरू हो जाता है इरिटेशन होती है बटन दब जाता है राइट मेकिंग अ माउंटेन आउट ऑफ अ मोल हिल वेरी एक्सप्रेसिव इवन एंगर रेज के इंसिडेंट्स होते एंड कुछ लोग इमोशन फ्रस्ट्रेशन को सप्रेस करते हैं अंदर दबा देते हैं एंड उनको डील करने का तरीका क्या होता है कि या तो they use something like food to suppress it. They can't deal with the emotion, so they use food to kind of cover it up and make themselves feel better. Yeah, alcohol, yeah, drugs, maybe pain medication, maybe sleep medication. So there's a slippery slope of frustration. So emotions are very much a part of this whole situation. And then we come to the bottom of the slope, jo pit hota hai, jisme we feel depression. It's like, oh my God, even hope is lost. कि क्या ये कब से होगा? We don't know what to expect. There's so much uncertainty. So this is a really deep pit that we get stuck in. And then once we get over we start to experiment with things. चलो ये कोशिश कर लेते, चलो ये adjustment कर लेते. Let's see how it works. Like a lot of us working remotely are experimenting with new ways of working. Some things have worked, some things hadn't worked. Like you just said, you had to set some ground rules because some things were not working out. So हम experimentation करते हैं and आहिस्ता आहिस्ता कुछ चीजें काम आना शुरू होती है and then we finally get into this new level of emotion of productivity. तो एक curve है तो हम ऊपर से शुरू I don't know if you can see either say high motivation high productivity then the shock hits us and then we go down we go into a pit and then we start experimenting and going back up and normalizing. In fact, we normalize कि हम ज़्यादा motivated होते हैं, हम ज़्यादा productive हो जाते हैं. ये चेंज कर्व है जिसमें हम इमोशनली गुजर रहे हैं इस वक्त ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ कोरोना.
Yeah, and I so just to continue the conversation, since the time this has happened, the COVID-19 thing, and we've started working from home, our fights within the team has also increased because we don't know like हमें emotions हमने कभी ऐसे deal ही नहीं किया एक दूसरे से, like when previously we used to be sitting in front of each other and then we sort out things, and now it's like we're not even facing each other. So there are a lot of things that we don't talk about. And then the second thing is working from home, like actually dealing with, for example, I'm not married, but I have my mom and my dad and my sister. Now it's a common space to work from. So उनके साथ भी deal करना, that's something that a lot of people are also facing. यार ये तो हमने कभी देखा ही नहीं कि घर पे भी, because we never used to spend so much time with family like the way we are spending right now. So yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Absolutely, Umar. And ये जो हम इस वक्त सिचुएशन में गुजर रहे हैं और फंसे हुए हैं, it is a threat. We are in a state of threat. And जब हमारा brain perceive करता है कि हम threat में है, तो वो क्या करता है, वो survival mode में चला जाता है. And survival mode में हम defensive हो जाते हैं. We start to try to protect ourselves, हमारे interests को. जैसे आप देखे होंगे दुकानों में, people start to hoard things, right? Because they are in survival mode. So in this state of mind, हम लोग cooperate करने के लिए तैयार नहीं होते हैं. We don't want to cooperate. We don't want to collaborate. We are just concerned about ourselves and our safety, security, and our survival. और इन हालात में, इन conditions में, this is the ability to manage this emotional state is emotional intelligence. It requires emotional intelligence.
Okay, so since you mentioned emotional intelligence, we just want to take a step back and ask you. So, what exactly are emotions? Like, if you have to describe it, everyone I think has a different definition. I think it's the right time to ask you this question.
That is such a good question. What are emotions? And I'm going to ask you a question, Umar. ये बताओ मुझे, तो आपके ख्याल में इमोशंस आते कहाँ से है? 3 ऑप्शंस मैं आपको दूंगी, ठीक है? आपको एक ऑप्शन चुनना है. And our viewers can also drop what they think. 3 ऑप्शंस है. इमोशंस आते कहाँ से है? What is the source of emotions? A, दिल से, right? धक 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 दिल से आते हैं. कहते हैं ना कि दिल मचलता है, दिल डूबता है, दिल गले में भी आ जाता है, दिल में लड्डू भी फूटते हैं. तो क्या इमोशंस दिल से आते हैं? सेकंड ऑप्शन, क्या दिमाग से आते हैं? या तीसरा ऑप्शन, क्या इमोशंस एनवायरनमेंट से आते हैं, माहौल से आते हैं, राइट? सो 3 ऑप्शंस. What do you think? Where do emotions come from?
So I would go with the third option. Why?
The
because
third option.
Not because I know, मैंने पढ़ा हुआ है, because पहला और दूसरा मुझे लग रहा है आप इतना easy आपने मुझे नहीं दिया होगा कि यार अच्छा पहले दूसरे में choose कर लो. The third probably is the right option. Am I right?
So you're picking the environment, huh?
Yeah.
And what about viewers? What are they choosing? क्या उनके
Let me
ख्याल
just check.
में? Yeah.
Brain,
A is heart,
environment.
brain,
Oh,
environment.
so mostly people are environment.
Environment.
Number 2 was brain. A lot of people have picked up brain, neurons. Environment, brain, environment.
Yeah.
Environment from heart.
Yeah. Environment.
It's a mixed
I see a lot
response,
of
but mostly
environment.
Yeah, mostly environment. Are they right?
Yeah, I see. Daniel is smart. He's saying all. Good job, Daniel.
Is that the right answer?
No, it's not the right answer.
Okay.
The right answer is, I'm sitting on my couch because I thought this would be a comfortable place for me today. So the right answer is B, the brain.
B.
Yes. It's not the heart, although the heart, it feels like, right? When you feel an emotion, your heart is something that you can physically sense beating faster or beating slower. So you think that the emotion must be from the heart. It's not the environment. And this is, okay, take for example, Chand Raat, okay? अब ईद रमजान आने वाला है, इंशाल्लाह चांद रात भी होगी, and you have a husband and wife, okay, and चांद रात, how it's the same situation, it's the same occasion, it's the same environment. How is the wife feeling? Right? Mehndi lagayenge, chaple khareedne jana hai, you know, all the last minute things, and it's all exciting and all this fun and halla gulla. How is the husband feeling? Like looking at his purse.
Mm,
Oh my God, the market mein car parking karenge. You know,
mm,
it's the same situation. Two people could be placed in the same exact situation and they can experience very different emotions. So that right off the bat tells you that emotions don't come from the environment. It's
mm,
how our brain processes the information of the environment and attaches meaning to it. कि ये चीज इसका मतलब है अच्छा है हमारे लिए, ये चीज इसका मतलब है बुरा है हमारे लिए. And this meaning that we attach to it comes from our learning from the day we were born. It's our experiences, it's the lessons we have been taught कि क्या अच्छा है, क्या बुरा है, क्या खतरा है, क्या बला है, बलाई है, right? I don't know the word for it. बलाई कहते हैं ना.
क्या
So
सही है
you
क्या गलत है.
attach क्या सही है क्या गलत है.
Yeah.
So we attach meaning. We learn this from our childhood to the present day. It's our programming. So two people with very different programming could be in the same situation, the same exact experience, but they could be experiencing very different emotions. So where do emotions come from? They come from the
Right.
brain. Make sense?
Yeah, you played me well. I was like, probably the first two options. It's not gonna be that easy, but the way you present, yeah,
Yeah. Well, well, it's still not easy.
yeah,
But what are emotions? So ये भी समझना जरूरी है कि ये emotions है क्या. अगर दिमाग से आते तो क्या हो रहा है जिस्म के अंदर. When we start to understand what are emotions, हम अपने आप को empower करना शुरू करते. When we understand what's going on with our brain, how it's processing, how it's working, we then put ourselves in a position where we now understand and we observe and we can actually intervene and exert some kind of control over the process going on. So although I hope कि हम सब जब पैदा हुए दिमाग के साथ पैदा हुए, right? कभी कभार लगता नहीं है कि कुछ लोगों के पास दिमाग होगा, but they have it, right?
yeah,
But ये दिमाग के साथ साथ हमें कोई operating manual नहीं दिया गया, right? We weren't given a guide to how to use our brain. And if we were given a guide, that guide would be, the title of it would be emotional intelligence. Because दिमाग जब process करता है incoming information, so उमर मुझे बताओ दिमाग को information अंदर घुसता कैसा है? How does it get into the brain?
through our ears, our eyes, our senses, the five senses that we have.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Exactly. And
Yes.
you got it. You got one out of two.
Yeah. Keep
One
asking.
out of two. Exactly. So your senses are continuously gathering information and they're channeling into your brain, and your brain then processes that information. And the part of the brain that takes that information and puts this interpretation, acha ya bura, khatra ya, you know, safety ya threat, is the part of the brain within the structure called the limbic system. And the specific structure of the limbic system, can anyone guess in the chat? Anyone can guess the name of the brain structure in the limbic system that processes emotional memories? Right? Anyone can guess in the chat?
Cerebrum, cerebellum.
Okay, someone is writing. No, no,
Okay.
cerebellum. Okay, no. Cerebellum is like this outer part of your brain. So this part of the brain that is your emotional center is within the limbic system, which is right in the middle, and it's called the amygdala. Anyone guess that? No, I
No,
don't
they
think
just stopped. Oh, someone wrote. Someone wrote.
oh,
Miraj wrote amygdala.
amygdala. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's spelled with an A, amygdala. And
amygdala.
amygdala ka maina, it's a Greek word, जिसका मतलब है almond shaped. So literally, the amygdala is like the size of an almond and it's the shape of an almond. And you don't have one, you have two, one in your right hemisphere and one in your left hemisphere. And this is where your emotional memories from the day you were born, anytime you felt pain or pleasure, those memories associated with those two types of emotions are stored in the amygdala. And अब जब भी कोई new environment information आ रहा है आपके दिमाग में, your brain is continuously comparing the incoming information against your memories and saying, oh, okay, is this good or bad? Is this good or bad? Is it good or bad? If it decides based on the programming, yeah, right? Remember, programming अलग-अलग हो सकती है based on the programming कि ये जो इस वक्त हो रहा है ये हमारे लिए अच्छा है, it's good for us. Then it orchestrates, the amygdala orchestrates the release of neurochemicals and hormones. And I use the acronym DOSE, okay, DOSE. These are representing the different chemicals and hormones that travel through our body, right? They affect our heart, they affect our digestive system, they affect our muscles, and they essentially, remember, acha hai hamare liye, they make us feel good. They make us feel relaxed. They make us feel happy. They make us feel calm. They make us feel content. It's almost like a natural high. And DOSE stands for, D is for, anyone can guess? In the, yes, Ahmed Bilal, serotonin. Serotonin is the S. D stands for dopamine.
Dopamine.
O stands for oxytocin. So I'm looking at the comments, oxytocin. S stands for, like Ahmed said, serotonin. And E stands for endorphin.
Enzymes. Endorphin. Endorphin.
Good guess, good guess. So dose jata hai, okay? And if thoda sa secrete hota hai, so you feel a slight emotion, right? You feel calm. Zyada dose, yeah, multiple secretions of dose into your bloodstream, you feel happy, you feel excited, you feel, ecstatic. So jitna chemical ka concentration बढ़ता है खून में, इतना ही strong emotional response आप महसूस करते हैं. Now, what if incoming information, the brain compares it and it decides, oh my God, इस वक्त ये जो चीज हो रही है ये खतरा है हमारे लिए. It's bad for us, right? It's not going to secrete dose. It's going to secrete a whole different set of hormones and chemicals. And I represent it or call it AC, not the air conditioning. Okay, but AC. Can anyone guess what AC stands for? Cortisol, Aksa. Yes, C stands for cortisol. Very good, Aksa. A stands for adrenaline. Okay, and AC goes in our blood and it acts on our heart. It makes it beat faster. It makes our muscles more, it gives it energy. It makes it more alert. ताकि हमारा जिस्म तैयार हो जाए या तो fight करने के लिए, fight या flight करने के लिए, भागने के लिए वहां से. Okay, that's where the fight flight response comes in, and that happens when our brain perceives कि इस वक्त खतरा मौजूद है. And इस वक्त coronavirus के हालात में we are in a continuous threat state. We all have elevated levels of adrenaline and cortisol, and हम या तो कुछ personalities तैयार है हर वक्त लड़ने के लिए, या we are suppressing, हम retreat कर रहे, हम sad हो रहे, depressed हो रहे, but it's the same response, it's the same chemical, the fight-flight reaction.
Now I understand my certain responses that I've had in the past 2 weeks. And yes, because हमने कभी ये चीज़, I'm sure for a lot of people, it's for the first time that they're hearing these things कि यार अच्छा process कहाँ से हो रहा है ये अभी तो. बट इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट कि हमें पता हो कि हम क्या कंट्रोल कर सकते हैं, क्या नहीं कर सकते. एक क्वेश्चन जो इससे रिलेटेड आ रहा तो ये था कि देयर सम पीपल हु से यार मैं हूँ ही ऐसा, सो द रिएक्शन दैट आई हैव और द इमोशन दैट आई शो टू व्हाटएवर यू से और व्हाटएवर एनी पर्सन सेज इज हु आई एम. सो कैन इट बी कंट्रोल्ड और इट्स लाइक यार मैं तो हमेशा से ऐसा. सो लाइक यू मेंशन्ड कि देयर इज अ मेमोरी इनसाइड जो कि बचपन से चलती आ रही है. Then people say, "यार मैं हमेशा से ऐसा हूँ, I can't change." I personally feel people can change because that's what I think emotional intelligence is. Like you need to know where to use your emotions, how to use them. Is that right? Like, can people change? the emotions.
Yes, but it takes practice because if you now, what is emotional intelligence? I just explained right now what are emotions. Okay. And if you are alive and you're a human being, everyone feels emotions. But हर कोई गुस्से में आके किसी को थप्पड़ नहीं मारता है, right?
Hmm.
It's how we use that emotions, how we behave in that emotions. We all will feel emotions. That's normal, but it's not normal to let those emotions control us. क्योंकि emotional brain अलग हिस्सा है, logical brain, rational brain अलग हिस्सा है दिमाग का. And do you know what that part of the brain is? जो rational, logical brain होता है. Do you know the
Cerebrum.
name? Well, you're close. Okay, it's called the prefrontal cortex. So everybody who's watching, if you put your hand on your forehead, your prefrontal cortex. I just got my green tea, so I'm gonna yeah, please. Maybe. So I'm gonna sip my green tea while we're. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
So it's right over here. It's your prefrontal cortex,
Yeah. Hmm.
and this is known as your conscious brain. Yeah, hosh ka dimag. So your amygdala is your josh ka dimag, and your PFC is your hosh ka dimag.
Hmm.
And अगर आप ऐसे ही है, गुस्से में है, इसका मतलब है आप अपना सिर्फ जोश का दिमाग यूज कर रहे, आप अपना होश का, अकल का दिमाग, इंसान वाला दिमाग, राइट? दिस इज द पार्ट ऑफ द ब्रेन जो हमें इंसानों को जानवरों से हट के बनाता है, बिकॉज हर जानवर भी फाइट फ्लाइट बेसिक इंस्टिंक्ट पे काम करता है, बट इंसान को क्या सेपरेट करता है, वो उसका कॉन्शियस ब्रेन है, होश का दिमाग है, right?
Prefrontal, prefrontal cortex.
Cortex. And for PFC इसको हम कहते हैं for
PFC.
short.
Hmm.
PFC for short, right? Yeah, CFC, PFC, Aman,
CFC.
PFC. So it's a prefrontal cortex.
Yeah.
Now मजे की बात ये है, जरा गौर करो. Have you ever been really angry, Umar? कि बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा चढ़ा हो? Yeah, have you felt that kind of anger, really strong anger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once every 2 3 days. Yeah, I'm honest. Being honest right now, that's why this topic is very important for me. Like I control it. वो तो मैं सीख रहा हूँ किस तरह मुझे control करना. But I feel angry. Obviously, काम में इतनी सारा situations आती हैं.
It's so
Dealing with
stressful.
people is always stressful.
Exactly. And it's the situation is adding to the stress, right? So if you, and guys, if who are watching, if you've ever experienced strong anger, right? What happens in that moment? Like आंखों के सामने क्या नजर आता है? I know, मेरे आंखों के सामने क्या नजर आता है? Like when I get really angry, like दुनिया काली अंधेरी हो जाती है, like cloudy, except for the one thing that pushed my button, right? It's like really crystal clear, right in the middle, my husband's face. It's clear. बाकी दुनिया काली अंधेरी. So, and
Yeah.
and in those moments when you are really angry, मुंह से क्या निकलता है? Ulat pulat, right? You say things and like baad
Yeah.
mein, or you take a decision or you take an action that when you calm down once again, what happens?
You realize probably it wasn't worth it, or sometimes you say मैंने ज़्यादा बोल दिया. I shouldn't
Well,
have
yeah,
said that.
I shouldn't have said. You regret it. It's called regret,
Hmm.
afsos, right? I should have been more careful. मुझे थोड़ा ख्याल करना चाहिए था. ऐसे नहीं बोलना चाहिए था. इस तरह से बोलना चाहिए था. So what happens basically in the brain is when your amygdala is on, it forces your PFC off. These two systems, the interesting part from the neuroscience is the limbic, the emotional brain, and the conscious hosh ka dimag. These two systems cannot be both fully on at the same time, and neither are they fully off at the same time. But when one is fully on, it forces the other to shut down. Okay, so it kind of goes, it's like a seesaw. I call it a seesaw, like it kind of shifts this way. So when someone is angry, their amygdala, the limbic is on. So it's forcing the PFC from 100% capacity, logical reasoning, rationalizing, analytical thinking, hosh ka dimag, it takes it to 25 operational capacity. Okay, that's why we don't say logical things, we don't say
Hmm.
rational things, and that's why we regret it afterwards, that, oh, that doesn't make sense, why did I say that? Right. Now tell me this, Umar, on off, okay, when one is on, the other is off, what do you think the best state or relationship should be between the PFC, hosh ka dimag, and the amygdala, the limbic system, josh ka dimag? What should be the best relationship?
I think your PFC should be working more than your, I don't know, because no matter what your past has been, you always have to be शऊर आपका शऊर नहीं, your sense shouldn't fade away or shouldn't be at 50%. I don't know, like 75-25 probably. That's my guess.
Absolutely. Well, keeping your PFC 100% on is next to impossible. It's just not possible because the PFC is a very small part of your brain. It hardly weighs like a pound, okay? And it's like about 6 credit cards thickness right behind your forehead. It's hardly anything. And if you look at your whole body mass, but the PFC, to use the PFC, the brain does not like to use it. The brain wants to keep your PFC off as much as possible. Do you know why? Why would the brain want to keep it off?
Because it takes a lot of energy.
Yes, you got it. So 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
Getting
Good
there.
job. Good job, Umar. So how much energy, you ask? Okay, imagine, Umar, कि आपके घर में एक ऐसा appliance है जिसके हर महीने इस्तेमाल के वजह से 25% of your electricity bill comes from that one appliance. So you're a smart guy. What are you going to do?
I'll try to switch it. I'll try to not use it as much as
Yeah,
possible.
keep it off, and बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत पड़े तो खोल देंगे, right? But you try to use it as less as possible. Well, guess what? Your PFC is that appliance for your body. And on average, normal use की बात कर रही हूँ, normal use में it uses up to 25% of your daily caloric intake.
Hmm.
It is extremely expensive to think logically. All right, it's very, very expensive. And so the body is designed to conserve energy. That makes survival sense. तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कोशिश करता है कि आपका पीएफसी को बंद रखे, सिर्फ खोलता है जब कोई नई चीज सामने आ जाती है, पहली दफा देख रहे हैं, समझने की जरूरत है, स्टडी कर, तो चलो अब पीएफसी की तरफ जाते हैं, पूछते पीएफसी अच्छा इसका क्या करें हम. But things that you are already familiar with, like imagine you drive a car, right? Yeah. So when you first learned to drive a car, guess which part of your brain you were dependent on to learn to drive the car?
PFC.
PFC. And you probably thought, my God, I know I did when I learned, this is so difficult. Like, you got to push this, you got to move this, you got to look at the road, you got to remember the direction, you got to check your mirrors, you got to listen to the guy teaching you how to drive. It's like crazy. I was about to give up. Like, how do people drive a car? But now when you drive a car, which part of the brain do you use?
It's amygdala. Am I saying
You
it right?
use you basically use everything else other than your conscious brain. So
Yeah.
you use your non-conscious brain. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's like autopilot, it's automated. So this is what the brain does. वो पहली नई चीज को समझता है, सीखता है, तो पीएफसी को इस्तेमाल करता है. जब वो समझ जाता है तो वो बोलता है, ओह अब तो समझ गए, अब तो इसको ऑटोमेट कर दो. Now
Hmm.
because the non-conscious brain functions hardly use any energy, तो दिमाग की कोशिश है कि पीएफसी को बंद रखो. नाउ इमोशंस के पर्सपेक्टिव से आप सोचो कि अगर दिमाग चाहता है पीएफसी को बंद रखो, तो बाय इंसान की जो अगर हम छोड़ दे इंसान को, तो फितरत हमारी भी एनिमलिस्टिक है कि हम भी रिएक्टिव होंगे, हम भी फाइट फ्लाइट सर्वाइवल मोड में चल रहे होंगे, एंड जो समझा है अब तक देखा है हम उसी प्रोग्रामिंग पे चलते जाएंगे, ऑटो पायलट पे चलेंगे. Can I do a couple of exercises with you to understand how
Sure,
this,
sure,
yeah?
sure.
And all the viewers too. Do you want to do an exercise? I'm just looking at the comments. Okay. Oh, muscle, muscle memory. Okay. Oh, I don't know what muscle memory means, Omer and Wazam. Okay. I'll tell you how the brain is a muscle too. I'll explain. Muscle memory is different. That's your motor skills. Motor skills, right? I'm going to show you what happens when your brain switches from non-conscious to conscious. Okay. And I want you to notice when your brain switches and how you felt when you was trying to switch to the conscious brain. Okay. Got it? So
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a few questions. Very simple math. Okay. And I just want you to, everybody who's watching, just shout out the answer. All right. Ready? Umar? So we can all hear you. I can't hear them, but I'm going to go by what you say. All right. So Umar, 1 + 1,
2,
2 + 2,
4,
4 + 4,
8,
8 + 8,
16,
57 + 92.
148.
Okay. Good. Okay. Did you notice something? When did you have to actually think consciously? When?
The last one. The last one.
Yes. And when you had to actually think, what did you notice? How did you feel जब PFC को on करना पड़ा? How did you feel?
उसमें आ गया था, टेंशन में आ गया.
Yeah, like, क्या मजाक है ये? क्या सोचना भी पड़ेगा अब? Like, oh my God, I thought I was just gonna listen.
Yeah.
So you notice how our brain resists it. The brain doesn't want to think. तो एक तरफ से आप देखो, इमोशंस पे हम चलते हैं, we run on emotions. बड़ा effort लगाना पड़ता है. We have to put in a lot of conscious effort. PFC हमारे होश के दिमाग को खुला रखने के लिए, ताकि emotions को वो काबू कर सके. So the optimal, remember the question I asked you, what would be the optimal state of the brain? Would be a balanced. The amygdala, the limbic slightly on, because you want to keep yourself safe too, right? You can't just shut down emotions. And conscious brain be slightly on. दोनों मिल के काम कर रहे हो, alertness पे हो. And ये state of mind रखना normal हालात में बहुत challenging है. इन हालातों में, with this coronavirus and COVID-19 pandemic, और भी मुश्किल हो गया है इसको PFC को ऑन रखने के लिए.
Yeah. So conscious brain and subconscious brain. Now I understand. And the brain actually resists कि आप वो वाला पार्ट यूज करो जिस पे ज्यादा एनर्जी लगेगी, जितना कम यूज करो उतना अच्छा. सो नेचुरली यू आल्सो लाइक अ पर्सन, कोई नई चीज आती है जिस पे दिमाग लगाना होता है, जिस तरह ऑफिस में भी होता है, तो आप बोलते हो यार अच्छा इसको जरा साइड पे रखो, जो चीज मुझे आती है पहले उसकी तरफ. So now I'm understanding the science of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so emotional intelligence, like you just explained, and then if I move towards the professional side and how I started the topic, that how it is very important for success in the corporate world and even personal development as well, even your life at home. So how do you think how important it is for a career according to you?
Well, not just me. I think all the research out there tells us over and over again que देखो, okay, we have to also understand emotional intelligence है क्या. So the basic definition of emotional intelligence is the intelligent use of emotions. हम emotions को खत्म नहीं कर सकते. Emotions is part of being human. आप इंसान है, आप जिंदा है, आप feel करेंगे. That's normal. We don't want to kill our emotion, but we want to use our emotions intelligently. तो इसका मतलब है कि होश के दिमाग के साथ, right? We want to keep both of them on. Emotions को direct करो. emotions ko istemal karo. So in terms of professional practice, right, we need to keep our intelligence. So IQ जब हम बात करते हैं, हम PFC के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. We're talking about the PFC, rational thinking, analytical thinking, ability to, process and calculate and assess. That's all your PFC. And IQ tests are actually measuring your PFC's ability. Okay. So IQ की ज़रूरत है to even have emotional intelligence. Agar aapka IQ is like handicapped, like you are developmentally handicapped, you can't read, write, a good percentage of the population is like that, then aap EQ bhi nahi develop kar sakte hain. But you don't have to be a genius. You don't need extremely high IQ to have emotional intelligence. You just need to be a normal IQ person, but you need IQ. Because the definition of emotional intelligence is the intelligent use of emotions. So there is a relationship between the limbic system, jiske andar amygdala hai, and the PFC. EQ is the connection between these two systems. It's like a neural circuitry that runs between these two systems. IQ क्या करता है जब amygdala incoming information को process करता है, अच्छा बुरा chemicals are being secreted into your blood. उससे पहले कि अमिगडला के बेसिस पे आप एक्ट करें, जवाब दे दे, हाथ उठाए, फैसला ले ले, आपका अकल का दिमाग रिवर्स सिग्नल भेजता है अमिगडला को और उसको बोलता है ठहर जा, अरे ठहर जा, wait a second, hold on a second, let me also assess the situation. So before the amygdala reacts, your intelligent brain needs to intervene. So this leads us to, in any situation, we will all feel emotions. In any profession, we will all feel emotions. We are humans, right? But उससे पहले कि आप जवाब दे, उससे पहले कि आप फैसला ले, कदम उठाए, you want to make sure your intelligent brain is on and it's also activated. That is essentially emotional intelligence. And initially, जो bottom level पे, जिधर आपको you're not managing other people, you're basically doing your own work. Although you need emotional intelligence, you don't need it as much as when you become a leader. The higher up you go, जैसे आपको दूसरों को manage करना पड़ता है, दूसरों के मसले मसाइल, personality issues and conflicts को deal करना पड़ता है, the more and more you need emotional intelligence, because you're not just dealing with your own emotions. Emotional intelligence में आपको दूसरों के emotions को भी direct करना है, manage करना है. So as you go up the hierarchy, you need to exhibit emotional intelligence. But tell me, Umar, क्या कौन से लोग promote होते हैं? Like if I'm an officer, an executive, क्या मैं promote होने के बाद अचानक रातों रात मैं emotionally intelligent बन जाऊंगी once I get the job title? या मुझ में emotional intelligence का कीड़ा पहले से दिख रहा था लोगों को, seniors को, कि लग रहा है, the mature, इसको हम maturity भी कहते हैं, emotional intelligence को. तो इस वजह से, क्योंकि मुझ में था पहले से कि मैं नजरों में आए, कि she has potential, and उसके basis की वजह, not just my technical skills, but because of my emotional intelligence abilities, नजरों में भी आए, and I was nominated for promotion as well, because I look like management material. You see? So बाद में आता है emotional intelligence, या पहले से मौजूद था वो कीड़ा, इस वजह से आपको पहचाना गया. What do you think?
Definitely what you said, the second option that you gave. And just to share with the viewers my my professional experience as well. So in Engro, you've worked with Engro before, they have a performance system, annual performance appraisal system. So initially it was just your objectives, your technical skills till 2 years back. And this had been going on for the past 40 years. Only last year it has been changed. 50% objectives, 50% your competencies. In that competency, leadership competencies. और वो सब end में जो competencies हैं, adaptability, teamwork and collaboration, leadership, entrepreneurship, इस सब में इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस कहीं ना कहीं, जिस तरह अभी आप जब बता रही है ना मुझे कि सिचुएशन से डील कैसे करना, वो आता है. सो 50% ऑफ योर करियर इज बेस्ड ऑन दिस नाउ, एंड दिस इज नॉट समथिंग के इंग्रो ने ईजाद किया है. आई एम श्योर दुनिया में बहुत सारी कंपनीज में फॉलो हो रहा होगा कि यार व्हाट इज दिस पर्सन अ टेक्निकल एक्सपर्ट, चलो ठीक है ये करियर में कहीं पहुंचे, और इज दिस पर्सन अ मैनेजमेंट मटेरियल कि यार ये हमें ऐसा लीडर चाहिए जो लोगों को संभाल सके, सिचुएशंस हैंडल कर सके, डिफ्यूज कर सके, और ये ना हो कि बस मुझे गुस्सा आ गया तो अब कंपनी बंद कर दो, ऐसा बंदा ना मिल जाए. सो व्हाट यू मेंशनड इज जस्ट it's absolutely relatable, and that's what I want to tell the other people, the viewers as well, कि how important now I feel like, especially in the past year, जब मैंने थोड़ा इसको ज़्यादा पढ़ने की कोशिश की, लोगों के पास एक्चुअली टाइम भी नहीं होता ना, वो इम्पोर्टेंस इस चीज़ को इतनी देते नहीं, एंड आई एम श्योर इस सेशन के बाद वो शायद थोड़ी सी दें कि लाइक यू मेंशन कि कितना इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि ये नहीं होता कि यार मेरी प्रमोशन हो जाएगी फिर मैं शो करूंगा ये, या आपकी ट्रेट आपकी एक रिकॉर्ड बनता हुआ जा रहा होता है और एकदम से फिर उसी की बेसिस पे आप बस फिर ऊपर जाना शुरू कर देते हो, बिकॉज आपका एक मेच्योरिटी, आपका एक लेवल बनना शुरू हो जाता है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन.
Absolutely, absolutely. So emotional intelligence, जब हम इसको काबू करते हैं into a framework, into like you were saying competencies. So basically इसको हम 4 competencies में define करते हैं. 2 competencies आपके internal world से है, self से related है, और 2 competencies external world से related है, how you interact with other people. So the self ones, can you guess what are they? The 2 internal competencies?
Uh, there are a lot of competencies. कौन से बोला? I just wanted to be right. Internal competencies. Your
Internal.
uh, dealing with people? No, that's external.
Yeah, that's external. So, well, okay. Anyone can guess in the chat?
Uh,
Yes, Sana. Sana got it. Yay, Sana.
Self-awareness.
Yes, the first one is so Sana. I'm gonna give you a heart. Okay, the
Okay,
heart
Sana, you're the
says,
lucky one.
Sana, you got a heart. Okay, Sana got it. So the first competency, which is the foundation of emotional intelligence, is self-awareness. You know what? In Urdu में क्या कहते हैं self-awareness?
आगाही? नहीं.
Yes, khud agai. I learned that. I learned that.
Okay. 3 out
So
of 4. 3 out of 5.
good, you're on a roll. You're on a roll. So it's the foundation. It's self-awareness. And in my coaching and my training, I teach people how to build this competency of self-awareness. Uske baad, the next staircase is the step up is self. Can anyone guess self after self-awareness? Yes, Beanish got it. Beanish is a heart for you. Beanish heart for you.
Self-management.
Self-management, okay? तो पहले अपने आप को be aware of what's going on. कि, oh, I'm getting upset. Okay, पहले awareness होना है ना. Before you can manage the emotion, you need to be aware of it. Like, for example, there's a wall here. If you don't know what's going on the other side of the wall, can you exert any influence on it? You can't. You're not aware of it. So सबसे पहले होश, self का awareness, right? And then you'll be in a position to manage it. And then there are strategies, there are techniques to manage the emotional response of the amygdala. So there's different things you can do. Once you master the internal world, you then go to the external competencies. So can someone tell me that there's 2 external competencies? बाहर की दुनिया में, right? तो पहले अंदर की दुनिया को सुधार लिया, अब बाहर की तरफ हम चलते, तो वो क्या होंगे 2 competencies? Okay, I see. Okay,
Relationship
social
management.
competence, social aware. Beanish, social awareness. Okay, so social awareness के अंदर आ जाता है empathy. Okay, and empathy को किस तरह हम exhibit करते हैं? So there's skills related to that of social awareness, and then the last competency is relationship management. Right? And there's a whole bunch of skills that come under that competency cluster of relationship management. So emotional intelligence basically are these 4 main competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management.
Self-awareness, self-management, and then external social awareness, relationship management.
And a lot of the competencies in relationship management have to do with communication. because it's how we're interacting with people. The only, like I tell, when I do leadership coaching, I tell the leaders, guys, एक ज़माना शायद था कि अगर आप डंडा लेके लोगों को चलाते और डंडा दिखाते, you know, काम चल जाता. Okay, no one would raise an eyebrow. But you can't do that anymore. You can't. And आजकल का डंडा is threat, like नौकरी चाहिए या नहीं चाहिए. You know, that's threatening people. You can't threaten people. That's not emotional intelligence. The only tool you have today to lead people, to manage your relationships, is the words that you utter from your mouth. So there's a whole language that I teach related to emotions. The words that you speak can trigger feelings of threat in people, or they can trigger feelings of reward, making them want to cooperate with you, work with you, versus have go into conflict with you.
Essentially. And I think prior to this, like, I've obviously in conversations I've heard these things, but now I realize how our internal self-awareness, then relationship management externally, this is something that, and then communication comes after it, then this is something that we normally don't put a lot of stress on, even as corporates. Like, we do a lot of trainings, technical trainings and other soft trainings as well. But these are things जो बंदे की अपनी personality and especially based on every person's past, क्योंकि एक side of the brain उसके past उसको influence कर रहा है. So how do you take care of that? कि एक बंदा है, आपने इंटरव्यू में हायर तो कर लिया है, but आप obviously उसका past तो नहीं आप पूरा वो कर सकते, but you can at least train, like you mentioned, you can train the person to how to deal with situations.
Very
So
good point.
this is something, if we, I think Western countries, like, I don't want to generalize it, but generally people are, do you believe that generally people are more emotionally intelligent in the Western countries, or is it something that people वैसे ही say because they of a colonial hangover?
It depends on the environment you are raised in. It's all because emotional intelligence has a lot to do with your initial programming, right? क्योंकि बचपन से लेके अब तक जो आपने समझा या सीखा, what is threat, what is reward, right? तो अगर बचपन से आप continuous threat में है, you know, you're growing up in an environment where there's your rights are being snatched and सिफारिश के बगैर काम होता नहीं है, and there's security, physical threat to you, and हर signal light पे कोई motorcycle वाला आएगा और gun दिखाएगा. I mean, you know, I'm describing a particular environment I think we're all familiar with, versus an environment, you know, where everyone has given equal opportunity. You have the best of education. You know, you have a safe, secure environment. You have the best of food and resources. And I mean, you know, you're not experiencing threat. So it's all the programming that you are being taught from an early age, जो आपके brain को condition कर रहा है. Okay, you're conditioning the brain. So I don't think it's because of the West, it's because, or the East, it's because of the environments that we are being brought up in. And when I think about it, I wasn't born and raised in Pakistan. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. And जब मेरी शादी हुई, I came to Pakistan. And so the first thing I noticed when I came to Pakistan is, I couldn't speak the language. Okay, so even I'm speaking Urdu now, sometimes people pick up, oh, she sounds like Benazir. It's because
I was about to say that, but I was like, I'll message you, not say it over here.
Because it's English is my first language. Urdu is the language I learned later, second language. So when I first came to Pakistan, I noticed that logo ka mindset is so different. It is so different. Like my programming, the way my brain operates, that's in there, the operating system is so different from the way other people's brain operates around here. And I realized that, you know, kuch bhi kar lo, until we don't fix people's programming, hum nahi sudhar sakte. We gotta fix the programming. And your programming, it's part of our tarbiyat. ओके तालीम तो बाद में आती है, तरबियत हमारे माँ के गोद में जो हम सीखते हैं, हमारे घरों में जो हमें सिखाया जाता है, जो हम सिर्फ ऑब्जर्व करके सीखते हैं अपने पेरेंट्स को, हाउ इज माय फादर बिहेविंग, हाउ इज माय मदर बिहेविंग, हाउ आर दे बिहेविंग विद ईच अदर, this is part of our learning, our tarbiyat. Okay, so even I was asked by KGS, the junior Karachi Grammar School, board based in the junior section. That time, my kids were in the school, and so Mrs. Fernandez was the principal. She asked me to come in and do a training for the parents. Okay, it was like a morning class. Mother and father had to attend, and when Mrs. Fernandez said, "You come," you came. So the auditorium was filled with the parents, and the topic was how to raise emotionally intelligent children.
Wow.
Because working in corporate training and coaching, I also realized देखो एक हद है जो हाँ एक there's a limit to what we can do with what we get in front of us now. 40 साल के बंदे को अब मैं एक हद तक सिखा सकती हूँ, उसकी प्रोग्रामिंग को चेंज कर सकती हूँ. काश हम इन्हीं को इन एक चाइल्डहुड में पकड़ लेते एंड उनको उस वक्त सही न्यूरल सर्किटरी बिछाते, सही प्रोग्रामिंग डालते दिमाग में, तो आगे जाके ये क्या से क्या नहीं कर सकता. And we can
Absolutely.
only do so much at a later age because neural circuitry, the fastest neural circuitry from what age to what age banti hai dimag ki? Fastest development of the brain?
0 to 5.
Yes. Oh, you got it.
Am I right? Wow. Yes.
You got it. You're on a roll, Umar. Yeah, so 0 to 5. So, guys, this is before school starts. It's what the child is learning in the home. Okay. And believe me, children are learning all the time. Don't think babies are stupid. Babies are not stupid. I was reading a research paper where this researcher ने एक experiment conduct किया जिसमें he called 6-month-old babies to his lab with the mother. And क्या किया कि mother सामने बिठाया with the baby 6 month in the lap, and बीच में table था, and the researcher would sit down across from the mother and baby, and he made this box. तो जिस तरह एक डब्बा बना हुआ था, and the box had like translucent walls, and अंदर एक light bulb था, and the contraption was कि अगर ऊपर आप pressure डालते तो अंदर की light would turn on. Okay, and so what he did is he took the box and he put it on the table, okay, right between him and the baby. And what he did is he did like this. He went down. He touched the top of the box with his forehead. And so when he touched the top of the box with his forehead, the box lit up. And the baby's just on the mother's lap, and the baby's just like looking, it's not doing it. Didn't touch the box, it's just observing. 6-month-old. The mothers went away. After 6 months, he called them back. Now the baby is how old?
6 months. No. 1 year.
I'm testing you. I'm testing you, Umar. Yes, 1-year-old. So now the baby is now 1-year-old. Now the mother again sits at the table with the baby in the lap, 1-year-old now. Now what the researcher did is he took the box, he put it in front of the baby. And you know what the babies did?
Again.
Imagine 6 months ka gap ke baad, and the first time the child saw this box was at the age of 6 months. So if you think babies are stupid, if you think babies don't observe, babies are not learning, it is the most rapid developmental phase of life. Is 0 to 5 years of age. They learn very, very quickly, and they are extremely observant. So this is what I mean. Parents need to realize that everything you do, the way you speak, the way you interact, your children are learning from you. They are learning from you. And that what they're learning is either improving their emotional intelligence or is destroying their EQ high kar raha hai ya EQ level low kar raha hai.
Great. And this brings me to my last question as well. So you mentioned programming a limit tak, there's a limit to which you can work on it, especially a person who has spent 30 to 40 years of his or her life. But so again, then I asked you a question earlier as well that change हो सकता है, and you're like obviously हो सकता है, but you have to work on it.
You have to
So
work on
how can a person develop the EI? So for example, मुझे गुस्सा बहुत आता है और मुझे घर में कभी मतलब हमारे घर कुछ सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं दे ही देता हूँ पूरा अच्छा एग्जाम्पल दे देता हूँ अपना मेरे घर एक पंजाबी बैकग्राउंड से हम जनरली ऊंचा बात करते हैं वी नॉट वी लाउड सो जब मैं किसी और से बात करता हूँ तो मुझे बोलते हैं यार थोड़ा सा आराम से बात करो ये मैं 3-4 साल पुरानी बात कर रहा हूँ फिर मैंने आहिस्ता आहिस्ता रियलाइज कि नहीं यार हमें घर में लगता है कि नॉर्मल है लेकिन एक्चुअली बाहर जाके लोग थोड़े से वो हो जाते हैं सो एक तो मैंने वो किया सेकेंड अब घर में हर डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ पर्सनालिटी होता है उनका डिफरेंट बैकग्राउंड होता है गुस्सा जनरली एक होता है कि यार ज़्यादा आ जाता था तो मुझे पिछले 4-5 साल से मैं एक्चुअली वर्किंग ऑन इट तो कुछ सिचुएशंस को मैं आपको गुस्सा आ गया एंड देन फिर एक थॉट प्रोसेस ये होता था कि यार हम तो बचपन से ऐसे हैं सो लेट्स से आपके पेरेंट्स आपको बोलते हैं यार हम ऐसे हैं तो तुम हमें नहीं चेंज कर सकते और फिर आप बोलते हो यार मैं बचपन से जब एक चीज़ देख रहा हूँ तो मैं चेंज कैसे हूँ जब घर में एक चीज़ एक्सपीरियंस करूँ मैं आप मेरे कान में आके चीखो मैं चुप रहूँ या फॉर एग्जांपल मेरी बहन आके मुझे तंग करे तो मैं उसको कुछ ना बोलूँ या अगर दोस्त मुझे तंग करे तो मुझे गुस्सा आ गया सो हाउ कैन इट बी डेवलप आई थिंक दिस इज द क्वेश्चन दैट एवरीवन इज थिंकिंग और इसका क्या सही तरीका है किस तरह बंदा करे आई नो अब तो साइंस भी समझ आ गई है पहले तो लोग शॉर्ट सर्किट ये फ्यूज इस तरह करके उसको जनरलाइज कर देते थे बट नाउ एटलीस्ट देयर इज अ साइंस यार ये दिमाग है और मिक्स होके एक चीज आ रही है कैसे डेवलप करें
Well, going back, there's 4 competencies. So I'll give some tips. Would you guys like some tips, some strategies? So now that you know the science, right? Now you have the background behind you. So your strategies भी अब समझ आना शुरू होगी. सबसे पहले is self-awareness. अगर self-awareness नहीं है तो बाकी चीजें competencies भी बड़े मुश्किल से आती है. And self-awareness का मतलब है कि आपके दिमाग के अंदर एक आवाज है जो 24 घंटे आपसे बातें करती है ना उमर है ना
बिल्कुल है बिल्कुल है
It's like voice inside your head that's talking to you. Now अक्सर हम लोग इसको सुनते ही नहीं है like we're not even conscious. सुनना का मतलब है कि होश के दिमाग का attention उस आवाज के ऊपर डालना हम सुनते ही नहीं है मगर वो 24 घंटे वो आवाज बातें करती रहती है और जो वो बातें कर रही है is essentially the programming that's running in your brain. जो वो बातें कर रही है वैसे ही आप महसूस कर रहे हैं अगर वो बोल रही है कि अरे ये तो निकम्मा whatever I don't know if that's a bad word sorry oops
no it's fine we're used to it it's a norm to listen to it
sometimes I say words and I don't even oh sorry I'm out of focus my camera I was too close
yeah.
Sometimes I say words and I don't realize it's like a bad word I said a word and someone said that's
It's
not
okay.
that's a
We
bad
understand you're from the US. We give you that
so
level.
I hope that wasn't a bad word so so if we don't listen to that voice वो programming autopilot पे चल रहा है and it's essentially controlling us ये अच्छा है ये बुरा है वो बोलता जा रहा है ये 80% of the time that voice is telling us negative okay that's the programming 80% हम सबकी programming automatically normal insan I'm not talking about psychodepressant people we're talking about normal human beings 80% उनकी ये अंदर की आवाज negative खतरा बुरा is saying and whatever it's running the programming it's releasing those chemicals into your bloodstream so 80% of the time we don't feel too good okay we feel uneasy we feel bored we feel frustrated we feel anxious 80% of the time we don't feel good because that's the programming so सबसे पहले काम ये है कि सुनना शुरू करो listen to the voice in your head what is it saying so kind of pause a moment and listen to it सुनो Listen. So start developing this ability. And for my coaching clients, I give them an exercise to do. Do you guys want that exercise? How to
For
develop
sure.
self-awareness? It's very
We
easy.
would love
Very
that.
easy. But this exercise, you got to do it for 10 consecutive days. Okay. बीच में अगर आपने 2 दिन किया ये और तीसरे दिन भूल गए, so you have to start from zero again. You got to start from day one. You got to do it for 10 consecutive days because the research shows कि 10 दिन लगातार करते तो वो circuitry आपकी मजबूत हो जाती है in the brain between the PFC and the amygdala, क्योंकि हमें PFC को attention direct करना है back to the amygdala, सुनना शुरू करे वो अंदर की आवाज को. So the exercise is this. Everybody, you can take out your phone, apna, see everyone has smartphones, and pick a time of day for the next 10 days जिधर आपको 5 minutes सकून के मिलते हो. So hopefully nowadays you should be able to get 5 minutes सकून के, right? It could be at the beginning of the day, middle of the day, right before you go to bed, but just pick a time and put it in your calendar that an alarm should go off every single day at the same time. This is really important, not different times. You got to do it at the same time every single day for 10 days. So you're going to set an alarm and you're going to name that alarm, Who Am I? Okay? Who am I? Now, when the alarm will ring, what I want you to do is open up your phone again, because now phone is telling you the alarm is on. Open up your phone again, open a note on your phone, the note app, and ask your brain the question, who am I? And just listen. Listen to what answer that inner voice tells you. And whatever it tells you, the first 3 answers, I want you to type it into the note and save it. Day 1 done. Day 2, the alarm's going to go off. Ask yourself again the question, who am I? Listen. Whatever you hear, the first 3 responses, type it in. What you're doing is you're building the neural circuitry and the habit of listening to that inner voice. And if you do this for 10 consecutive days, ये आपकी आदत बन जाएगी अंदर की आवाज को सुनना. That's the first step. That is self-awareness. अब हम सुनना शुरू कर दिए. अब सुनने के बाद अगला competency आप तैयार है. So after 10 days, you are then ready to work on the second competency, which is self-management. अब आप सुन रहे हैं. Okay, now you're used to listening. तो जब वो अंदर की आवाज बोल रही है, oh, this is so bad for us, इसको तो सीधा कर देना है. You're like, now you've listened to it before it has a chance to make you do or say something that you will regret later on. अब आपका होश का दिमाग सुन रहा है उसको. अब होश का दिमाग बोल सकता है कि wait a minute, ठहर जा. Okay? So here, now the second strategy that I'm going to give you is called buy time strategy. अपने अंदर आदत बना लो कि बोलने से पहले या कुछ फैसला लेने से पहले या कुछ कदम उठाने से पहले आप 5 से 10 सेकंड इंतजार करेंगे. Okay, you're going to pause. Just take a pause. Program yourself, right? And how you can program yourself, like what I do, जिसका मैंने अपनी आदत बनाई है कि जवाब देने से पहले, I know I'm angry, I'm upset, but जवाब देने से पहले, I will take 3 breaths. Okay, I will take 3 breaths. It's just enough time for my PFC to reactivate, to turn on again. I don't know, are we frozen? I think Omar is frozen. Omar? Are we still on? Can someone let me know in the chat? Are we okay? You can hear me. I think Umar is frozen. Okay, so we'll continue. Umar will probably join us. So the first one is learn to listen. And so you're going to do the 10 days Who Am I exercise. Second one is make it your habit to take a short pause before you respond, before you take a decision. I think Omar's going to come back on. Okay, you can hear me, but he's frozen. Okay. So that is the second tip for you. So if you start doing these two things, you will already be well ahead in terms of developing your emotional intelligence. Practice these two things. Okay. So I think we're going to wait. Okay, you guys are here. Okay, you guys are here. Okay, good, good. I hope Umar joins on again. Okay, but you guys are here. I think Umar is going to kind of transition to questions. So if you guys want to drop your questions. Okay, Umar is back.
Sorry.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. We just continued, and I just finished the second strategy that I shared, which was to take a pause. So you could take 3 deep breaths, or you could count to 10, right? The age-old wisdom, count to 10. Yeah, pani pilo. There's something to get a little pause between reaction, which is the amygdala making you react, and response, which is the TFC, logically, rationally responding. You don't want to react. You want to get into your state of mind, brain state, where you can logically respond. Just a few seconds. तो अपने आप को distract करो किसी चीज से, अपनी आदत बना लो. 3 सांस ले लो, count to 10, या count to 10 in a different language, या la hawla wala quwwat पढ़ लो, whatever you want. Just make it your habit to occupy yourself for 5 seconds before you respond. Okay?
Great. So this was the second one,
Yeah.
self-management.
So 2 tips for you guys today. 2 tips.
Great. Because I can relate to it क्योंकि कई दफ़ा आप गुस्से में ईमेल लिख रहे होते हैं and then पहले तो मैं लिख देता था और अब मैंने सोचा नहीं, जब भी ऐसा कोई मोमेंट आएगा I'll just stop
and save it.
मैं कुछ और and after 10 minutes I'll see if this मतलब ये मैंने सही लिखा है या नहीं लिखा, but in that moment मैं उस ईमेल को नहीं भेजूंगा. Sometimes I just type it and save it in the draft and then the next day I delete it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you take a pause and reply to all.
Yeah.
And you're like, and I hate it when people recall message. Guys, I already read it. It's like too late.
Yeah.
अब तो और पढ़ूंगी मैं. Recall क्यों किया? क्या था वो message?
So I think it was this session overall, like we discussed about the emotions in the time of Corona. Before we go to the questions, I just want a brief recap. Emotions in the time of Corona and what exactly are emotions, what is emotional intelligence, intelligent use of emotions, and how important it is for career growth and how we ignore it, and leadership competencies and its link to emotional intelligence. And then Rahila's 2 tips, great tips on how to develop emotional intelligence. But Rahila, I know I asked you for 1 hour, but the session was so great and the questions are right in front of you, तो आपको इसको 10-15 मिनट तो देने पड़ेंगे and people have a lot of questions from you. Is that fine with you?
Sure, not a problem. I'm just going to adjust my legs because I'm sitting cross-legged on the couch.
Sure.
My tongue sun ho gayi hai. It's like, okay. I've been sitting too long.
मैं questions देख रहा हूँ. Like you can also view the questions and whichever question you like. चले मैं यहाँ से pick कर लेता हूँ. But before that I have a question जो कि बहुत लोगों का यहाँ पे आ भी रहा था. आप कंट्रोल में हैं, आप इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंट है, सामने वाला नहीं है. अब आपको वो सुना भी रहा है, आपसे बदतमीजी भी कर रहा है, आपकी सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट भी वो सबके सामने वो कर रहा है, कम कर रहा है, तो सेल्फ रिस्पेक्ट को आपके अटैक कर रहा है सबके सामने. उस सिचुएशन में बंदा क्या करे? हाउ टू बी इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंट एट दैट टाइम? ब्रेक भी ले ले, हर चीज ले ले, बट यू हैव टू रिस्पॉन्ड. सम पीपल से डोंट रिस्पॉन्ड, द अदर पर्सन विल रियलाइज. सम पीपल से नो, यू हैव टू रिस्पॉन्ड बिकॉज़ यू हैव टू गिव योर स्टांस. बट अगर आप उससे रिस्पॉन्ड करें तो मोस्ट लाइकली आप भी गुस्से में आ जाते हैं, देन देयर इज अ हीटेड कन्वर्सेशन एंड देयर इज एंड में कोई फायदा नहीं होता. पॉइंट आप सही, कई दफा ऐसा होता है पॉइंट सही बोल रहे होते हैं लेकिन आप इतने अजीब तरीके से बोलते हैं कि आप सब आपके अगेंस्ट हो जाते हैं. यार आपने बोला तो सही है, बट आप बहुत अजीब तरीके से बात करते हैं. दिस इज नॉट द वे. सो हाउ टू एड्रेस व्हेन द अदर पर्सन इज नॉट इमोशनली इंटेलिजेंट, यू आर?
Yeah. So if you are emotionally intelligent, then you will have social awareness and relationship management as well, right? तो इसका मतलब है कि आप दूसरों के emotions को भी guide कर सकते हैं, manage कर सकते हैं. So when someone in front of you, सामने वाला गुस्सा में है, The tip I can give you here is कि देखो, take it professionally, not personally. Okay, take it professionally, not personally. उसको जिस बात पे गुस्सा है, or whatever his mood is, or whatever has triggered that person, is not necessarily directed at you. It's his programming. Okay, it's how he's processing the information, and based on his grooming and upbringing, that's just his programming. So understand that in the first place. And so once you understand that, now सामने वाले को क्या हम दूसरों के इमोशंस को मैनेज कर सकते हैं? What do you think, Umar? Can we manage other people's emotions? या हमारे बस की बात नहीं है, वो उसके इमोशंस है?
uh, I don't know. Like you can manage their emotions by not react. I don't know, not reacting and just giving. I don't know. I don't know the answer, but
Well,
I think you can't.
you
But
can't. क्या आपकी वजह से दूसरों को गुस्सा आ सकता है?
आ सकता है.
Can you make someone angry? Do you know how to make someone angry?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you can also make someone calm,
अच्छा.
right? So if you can make someone angry, then you can also make someone calm. And the tool to make someone calm, okay, maybe we have a problem that needs solving. We need to maybe, resolve an issue. But you cannot solve the problem until you don't remove the emotion out of the way. So deal with the emotion first, problem second. And the way you deal with someone else's emotion is through active listening. There's a way to listen in this type of situation that involves active listening. And it's a framework that I teach called the HEAT framework, HEAT. These are 4 specific behaviors you have to do to help the person get over their emotional, that chemical emotional surge, so that their PFC is back on, and now they can logically converse with you and solve the issue on hand, right? So HEAT, H stands for just hear them out. जब सामने वाला गुस्से में हो, उस वक्त आपको कुछ नहीं बोलना. You got to just hear them. Meaning active listening, eye contact, facing them, nodding, open posture, but don't say anything. Don't, I even tell men, okay, so when you have an argument with your wife, Uma, this will help you in your future. When you have an argument with your wife and she's angry, okay, don't say sorry, okay, when she's angry. Because even though sorry would be the logical, nice thing to say, this person in front of you, वो इस वक्त होश के दिमाग में नहीं है, क्योंकि होश के दिमाग को सॉरी समझ आता, but जोश के दिमाग, the amygdala, को सॉरी नहीं समझ आता. जोश के दिमाग को सॉरी एक और ट्रिगर बन जाता है, right? Like, it's too late now. Like I would tell my husband, well, it's too late. You should have thought of that before. It would be another push of my amygdala for me. So you gotta first hear them out. And when you notice कि okay, अब ये उलट पुलट आवाज ऊंची थी, अब ये पारा चढ़ रहा था emotions का, the concentration of chemicals, अब ये लग रहा है पलटी खाना शुरू हो गए. How can you tell कि सामने वाला emotions पलटी खा रहा है?
जब बोलना अब एक तो बंद करे, थोड़ा काम हो जाए.
The volume goes down.
Yeah.
The facial expression relaxes, right? पहले 2 गालियां निकल रही थी, अब 1 निकल रही है. Like you can tell. Okay, now you see, okay, पलटी खा रहा है. अब आपको E activate करना है. E is you start to speak. And E stands for empathize. All you say is, I understand how you feel. I understand why this is upsetting for you. Empathize doesn't mean कि आप agree कर रहे हैं उस शख्स के साथ, पर आप उसके emotions को acknowledge कर रहे हैं. And now that they're पलटी खा रहे हैं, अब cool down हो रहे हैं, अब PFC वापस on हो रहा है, imagine the times when if someone in front of you has not reacted to your behavior or misbehavior or your loud voice or anger, they have just calmly listened to you. How do you feel afterwards? You feel
Really bad.
Bad. That's exactly how that person is going to feel. Like, oh my God, I said such terrible things. I was out of place. But this person just listened to me. And now they're saying they understand how I feel. Oh, you have just used emotional intelligence उनके दिल को पकड़ने के लिए. You just grab them by their heart. This is why emotional intelligence is very powerful. You have just grabbed them. They are basically now in your hand. Now, HE, hear them out, empathize. Now you're going to ask a question. A stands for ask. And this is psychology. The question that you ask is something that they have already told you, जिसका जवाब आपको 100% पता है, yes होगा. So, you were saying something and I was listening to you and I say, oh, okay, so now that you're calming down, you say, so what happened is the report was supposed to be sent to you by 5 o'clock, but you didn't get it till the next day. And if that's what you told me, what are you going to say in response?
Yes.
Yes. Now, in psychology, when someone utters yes, you are programming them, you are conditioning them to agree with you. And now, the next step, where the T of the heat, where you're going to tell them the solution. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, and you tell them a solution that you will be able to do. And guess what? They are going to comply with you. They're going to cooperate with you because आपने उनके दिल को पकड़ लिया है and आपने उनको ऐसे लेकर आए हैं कि now they will want to work with you, not against you. It's all psychology and understanding how the brain works, understanding emotion. So this is a very powerful technique called the HEAT technique, HEAT, right? I hope that
Very,
helps.
yeah, very powerful, and it addresses a lot of questions over here as well. जो कि बॉस से लड़ाई, पीयर से लड़ाई, घर पे लड़ाई, या थैंक यू फॉर योर सजेशन फॉर माय वाइफ, फ्यूचर वाइफ, तो अगर उससे भी लड़ाई हो, सो एक होता है ना कि यार बस मैंने सॉरी बोल दिया ना, मान जाओ, आप उसके बाद क्यों गुस्सा कर रही हो, तो वो भी एक लड़ाई अलग उससे होती है. बट यू कैन इजीली बी लाइक, जस्ट लिसन टू द अदर पर्सन एंड लेट द थिंग्स काम डाउन. दिस इज व्हाट माय मॉम इवन पूरी जिंदगी बताते हैं, बट हम कभी सुनते नहीं थे. इट्स ऑलवेज लाइक, यार इससे मुझे बात बोली है, मैं इसको जवाब भी दूंगा, यू सी हाउ आई रिस्पॉन्ड. और उसका कोई फायदा नहीं होता था. और कई दफा मेरे जो एग्जैक्ट थिंग दैट यू मेंशन, कि कभी कोई ऐसी सिचुएशन ऑफिस में होगी जो मेरे दिमाग में लगा कि उसने किसी बैड इंटेंट के साथ की है, जो कि नहीं की थी, एंड देन आई जस्ट वेंट एंड आई ब्लास्टेड द पर्सन, एंड द पर्सन डिडंट से एनीथिंग टू मी, and within an hour or two I realized that's not me. Like I don't talk like that. I didn't mean, I know मतलब बंदे ने ऐसा शायद सोचा भी नहीं था. I didn't even ask for clarification. I just started blabbing, and it hurt a lot. And after that, the number of times I said sorry to the person, मतलब it was a win for him in the sense, like जिस तरह राहिला ने अभी mention किया कि I think सबकॉन्शियसली उन्होंने यही मेथड फॉलो किया, and he made me realize कि यार गलती भी तुम्हारी थी, बोले भी तुम, सॉरी भी तुमने बोला, let's move forward. But the respect now that I have for that person is very different.
Yes, and when you do this, it puts you in the position of power. And the person who loses their control and gets emotional becomes a subservient because they lost their power. They've abdicated their power. एक बात मैं कहना चाहूंगी उमर, just be very cautious though. Now, emotional intelligence is extremely powerful. Once you understand, you develop the skills and you start to use the skills, it's very, very powerful because you can actually not only control yourself, but you can control other people. You literally control them by their heart. Okay, their emotions are in your hand. Now, tell me, if someone, so hum EQ, emotional intelligence, emotional quotient ki baat kar rahe. But if someone, Umar, is very high in IQ, very smart, does that mean they are also a nice person? नेक शरीफ इंसान भी होगा. IQ high है तो शराफत भी होगी उसके अंदर. Is that true?
No.
No, right? No. We've
Yes.
all heard of evil genius.
Yeah.
कि genius है, बहुत अक्लमंद है, but they use their intelligence for negative purposes. इसी तरह, be very careful. Just because someone is high in EQ doesn't mean कि वो नेक शरीफ इंसान भी होगा. Make sense? Because people with EQ can also use their skill to manipulate other people, to control other people emotionally, right? So you got to be very cautious. It's not a skill. The things I'm teaching you, that I teach people, I always tell them, listen, I'm teaching you this, but with this understanding that you will use this for good. Okay, you will use it for good and not for harm. Because you want to use it for win-win outcomes, not win-lose outcomes. A lot of politicians they are very emotionally intelligent. They know how to use emotions for their gain, right? So EQ, IQ, scientists have discovered there's a third type of intelligence called SQ. Can you guess what SQ is?
I read about it, but I forgot. But let me just try to remember it.
Can anyone in the chat tell me? Do you know what SQ stands for? Anyone can tell me? SQ? It stands for spiritual quotient. It's like you're conscious, right? You could have high EQ, you could have high IQ, but if your SQ is weak, you're not a very nice person. You are very self-centered. You're looking out for yourself, your own win at the expense of others. But you could be very intelligent, right?
Great.
Yeah,
That's some,
exploitation. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Excellent, absolutely.
that's some great info out there. Adil had another question. What about if you face people who you don't like, that is in office, and how to tackle it every day? So I think it relates to, if you don't like the people, तो आपके अंदर से emotions उनको देख ऐसा होता है ना कि मैं इसकी शक्ल देख के गुस्सा आता है, like that sort of people.
It's your own programming. You got to fix your programming, right?
Okay.
So how to fix your programming is, if you don't like someone, purposely, consciously look for something you have in common with them. Okay? Because when we find something in common with another person, we start to connect with them and we start to like them. So find something in common. It could be something as, oh, we both wear glasses, or we both have beards. Okay, so I don't have it, but you have one. So, or we both, went to Karachi University or whatever. So find something in common, because when your brain, sports, exactly. When your brain, when you put that program, oh, I have this in common with this person, your brain automatically shifts from looking at the person as an enemy, foe, to starting to consider them as a friend. Okay? So similarities bring people closer together. So it's not the problem of the person. First, you got to fix your brain. You got to look for commonality. Because every time you interact with that person, you don't think they know you don't like them. Whatever programming is in your brain, your facial expressions, there's in psychology, we have this whole field of science where they study micro expressions. Like your eyes will slightly change, your eyebrow will slightly change, the smile, the fake smile. And you might say, oh, I'm acting nice and sweet. But the person, their subconscious brain picks up micro expressions, and subconsciously they interpret that this person is not a friend. This person is my enemy. And so when they're subconsciously interpreting that, that's how then they are going to also react to you. So it's basically you're building a cycle, a spiral of negativity. And the only way to stop it, you can't change their thinking. You got to change your thinking first, your programming.
Because it's easy to blame the other person and get away with it. And
Yeah. Have you heard that there's like this Chinese fable about the mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law, saas bahu. I don't know.
क्योंकि सास भी कभी बहू थी, I know about that drama.
Yeah, you know the drama. But there's a very interesting Chinese fable where there's a mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, and the mother-in-law is really cruel to the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law gets so sick of her and she just can't take it anymore. She comes to a point where either I kill myself, I just can't take it anymore. I just can't handle it. So she goes to this very wise man, like a Chinese doctor, medicine man, and she tells him her situation, give me medicine to kill myself, or I just can't take it anymore. So the doctor says, the spiritual doctor says, okay, I'm going to give you special medicine. And he goes and he gets this powder and he puts it in a little jar for her and gives it to her, and he says, every day I want you to put a little of this powder on your mother-in-law's food. Okay, every single day and every meal, sprinkle a little of it. And slowly, this is going to kill her. She's going to be out of your way. But when you start using it, make sure you act normal, because you don't want anyone to शक नहीं आए ना कि इसी ने मारा होगा. So you got to act really nice and normal ताकि आपकी तरफ शक नहीं आए. But every day, sprinkle a little bit of this powder every single day on her food, and your problem will be gone. So she takes it, so she goes and she starts putting the powder on her mother-in-law's food, and she serves it to her, and she acts all normal, and so that no one, किसी को शक नहीं आए कि इसने मारा है. So every day she keeps doing it, and she notices her mother-in-law starts to change. Her mother-in-law starts to actually become nicer to her, starts actually having normal conversations with her, starts caring for her, giving her gifts as well. And she's like, what's wrong? Is this powder working the opposite way? It's not killing her. And so she's almost done with the powder, and she's like, oh my God, I don't want my mother-in-law to die. She's such a nice person. So she goes back to the doctor, and she tells the doctor, oh, please give me the antidote. I don't want my mother-in-law to die. She's somehow, this powder has done magic. She's become such a nice person, and I've started to love her like my own mother now. Please, I don't want her to die. Give me the antidote. And the doctor says, go ahead and finish the powder. She goes, no, I don't want her. She goes, no, it's nothing but salt. She goes, no, how can it be? There must be some magic in here. He goes, no, it's not the powder that did it. It's you who changed. And when you changed, she changed. Because when she was acting nice and normal, so that no one shak nahi aaye kisi ka uske upar, then the person in front of you automatically responds back to you in the same energy frequency. They start to, the physics, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So what you give is what you get. It's kind of like karma. So that story I heard a long time ago, and I was like, oh my God, that's a good, I hope you like that story.
Very powerful story. It's a very powerful story. Can I use that story somewhere? Like, I'll mention you. I'll give the credit.
Welcome. It's a Chinese fable. It's like a Chinese, like an Aesop's fable. So you're welcome to use it.
So Farhad Karam Ali Singh, thanks Umar and Rahila. Thank you, Farhad, for joining us.
Pleasure. Any other question? I think we're like, wow, it's been like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I think I asked for 1 hour from you, and I think the way that you answered the questions, बहुत सारे questions अभी मैं पढ़ रहा था because I had to skip जो repeat हो रहे थे. It had the same answer which you mentioned, how to handle people in office जिनको आप नहीं like करते, how to handle people at home जिनसे आपको गुस्सा आ रहा है तो किस तरह handle करना है. Yeah, and there's one.
The thing here, Umar, is देखो, we always think the problem is out there. मेरा boss सही हो जाए तो सब सही, मैं भी सही हो जाऊंगा. My spouse सही हो जाए तो I'll be fine. Everything will be perfect. वो सही हो जाए. We always think the problem is out there. And when I was writing the column, Workplace Sanity, Every letter was like, oh, the problem, the problem, the problem. And every answer I wrote for 10 years, the answer told them the problem is you. It's not the boss. It's not the company. It's not the job market. It's not the degree. It's you are the problem. The problem lies inside of you. And if you fix yourself, everything else will align with you. And so it reminds me, if I close with something, it might be helpful to our audience, is a poem that I heard many years ago, because I didn't have it easy in my life. If I told you my life story, I had a mother-in-law from hell too. I still have her, but she's a brilliant person now, okay, because I used what I learned in psychology. One day I said, chalo apni dawai apne aap pe istemal kar lo. So I used it and it worked. So I didn't have it so easy as well. And when I started my business early 2000, it was a very challenging for me. People were very discouraging and telling me, oh, you're going to fail, it's not possible, you don't have any contacts, you don't. Literally, I don't know anybody in Pakistan. I wasn't born here, I wasn't raised here. I have no contacts, I have no family. No family except my husband and my few. Now even my in-laws are gone to the States. So nothing. And so discouraged, down. And I came across a poem at that time. And kehte hai na, just when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That poem was my teacher, and it conveyed a very powerful message to me that I want to share with our audience, because
Please,
maybe
please.
this is the message they need to hear right now, especially in this time of the corona and this whole pandemic that we're going through. Now, this poem is not written by any famous person. It's not published in any English anthology. It's actually taken off a stone in a church in England. And the title of the poem is basically an archbishop wrote, because it was written by an archbishop. And it goes like this. So I'm going to say the line, and Umar, I want you to repeat the line after me. And everyone who's watching, repeat it also, okay, to yourself. All right, ready? Okay, and listen for the message. Listen for the message in the poem. So the poem goes like this. When I was young and free,
When I was young and free,
I dreamt of changing the world.
I dreamt of changing the world.
But alas, the world would not change.
But alas, the world would not change.
So I narrowed my sights somewhat
So I narrowed my sight somewhat
and sought to change my country.
and thought to change my country.
But it too seemed immovable.
But it too seemed immovable.
In one last desperate attempt,
In one last desperate attempt,
I sought to change those closest to me.
I thought to change those closest to me,
My friends and family,
my friends and family.
but they too would have none of it.
But they too would have none of it.
And now here
And now here
I lie on my deathbed
I lie on my deathbed
and realize for the first time,
and realize for the first time,
if only
if only
I had changed
I had changed myself.
myself first,
Myself first,
then through my behavior and example,
then through my behavior and example,
I could have changed
I could have changed
my friends and family.
my friends and family,
And with their encouragement and support,
and with the encouragement and support,
I could have changed
I could have changed
my country.
my country,
And who knows,
and who knows,
I could have even
I could have even changed
the world.
the world. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rahila.
You're most
This
welcome.
this was much needed. I think I'll use this video again and again, especially to my family members, because this is something that whatever examples I shared, there was all personal, and people in their comments I could see they all had the same issues. And I hope uh, that we could connect again someday, because this was something which was uh, exceptional for me, for my own personal development, and apart from the professional aspect of it as well. But thank you so much, and
My
this is
pleasure.
something that our country, that our world needs right now. I
Mm,
hope I haven't interacted with you previously that much, but I hope I get to see I see your LinkedIn. I see your posts on LinkedIn when you mentioned that you're going live related to these topics only. And people who are
exactly.
listening right now, Rahila is very active on, and she does webinars as well. Rahila, what way can they connect with you? If whatever, like, how do you connect with people? Is it
Follow me
LinkedIn?
on LinkedIn. Follow me on
Okay.
LinkedIn. And I'm, because now we're shifting to virtual training. So I'm launching a corporate program, virtual program called Thrive, which are the 3 habits of emotional intelligence. So it's over 3 weeks. We work on 1 habit per week. So I'm just launching it right now. So if you guys or your companies are interested, follow me on LinkedIn and join
I'll
me on
def-
the.
I'll definitely sign up, and if you can have the details sent to me as well, I'll
I've
roll it
shared.
out, especially
I've
to my
shared
own
it with you.
company.
Yeah.
And this is something great, and I'll tag you, and I'll show this video to anyone that I can, because I know the
No,
importance of
it's
it.
great.
And you can see
I'm
with,
glad.
I don't know how, 200 people sticking to their laptop for this long. This is something I haven't seen before. The attention
I
span,
hope I
yeah.
hope you guys have gotten value, and thank you so much for your time. Time is such a precious resource. It's something that we can only spend, and we need to spend it wisely. And I really appreciate Umar and all the audience for spending their valuable time with us this evening. And I hope that you have gotten value in exchange. Thank you so much for having me as a guest.
Thank you so much, Rahila, again. And for people, if you want to get in touch with Rahila, or if you want to follow her updates, just follow her on LinkedIn. It's quite easy. I'm sure a lot of you are here from LinkedIn. And again, we'll be back with another webinar on Sunday with Farhad, which is on relationship management. And we'll use this learning, because Farhad was also watching this. We'll use this learning from Rahila and take it from there only, because and for those who were, some people are mentioning कि हमें मिस कर दिया, हमें टॉपिक पता नहीं चला, हम लेट हो गए. So right below this there is a subscribe button, और उसके साथ एक bell button है. So if you press the bell button, you'll get a notification whenever we go live. So with that, I hope, Rahila, we can get in touch again soon, whenever you have time, because these people, with the comments I'm reading, these people just loved it, and I personally loved it. And with your session, I'll just sign it up after that once I get the detail, because this is something that is very important, I think, for our awam, and for generally for people, like for life, not just for professional success. So again,
Absolutely.
thank you so much, and hope to
Thank
see you.
you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much.